Thank you very much for joining me. It's great having you.
It's a pleasure.
Could you please tell me what Carbon Collect is about?
Carbon Collect is a company we founded to commercialize the technology developed by Professor Klaus Lackner at Arizona State University for the capture and use of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, directly from the atmosphere. And it's a passive technology, meaning that it doesn't require any mechanical energy blowers and fans to collect the air in order to take out of it the CO2. It can actually do it without any manipulation, if you like, of the air. And that means that as the air passes through our device, it will be attracting the CO2, the carbon dioxide, to it, and will hold it in a vessel, ultimately, that we then extract the CO2 from.
What is your work dynamic, and how do you make it work across so many time zones?
So first of all, most of us have come from international business background. So we're very used to traveling and interacting and communicating with people in different time zones. Secondly, a lot of potential investors and suppliers and people we interact with are actually, they are where they are, where we find them. And so in some ways, it's actually now just normal for us to be in a multi-time zone environment and have multi-parties involved in communication and moving the business forward.
In the case of Carbon Collect, how much of the inverse trend do you see?
Well, quite honestly, what's happening is that governments, society, companies and industries are now a lot more committed to decarbonization than perhaps 5 years ago or even 10 years ago. And so what we're seeing is tremendous interest in technologies that help enable decarbonization. And one of the biggest problems the planet is facing is we know if we do take CO2 out of the atmosphere, that's already there, essentially.
How many trees would we need to stabilize the world's CO2 output?
So theoretically, if we wanted to address climate change and, if you like, if we're looking at 1% reduction in average temperature over a period of time, we would need about 1 billion of these trees.
I'd like to know, Reyad, if you see new products and which could they be coming along?
Sure. I mean, I think you can put it into various buckets, but we also know that there's a lot of potential in developing better and more effective and more, if you like, selective sorbents for different environments. And in that vein, we have our team of scientists at Arizona State University are working on that problem and will come up and have come up with some new products that we're very excited about developing. There's also the packaging, and we call it, of how you use the sorbent, not just what it does, but how you get it into a situation where it takes the maximum amount of CO2 it sees from any wind input.
I can see that there's a lot to do. There's a lot of work you guys have ahead of you. Thank you very much. Great having you, and thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.